What's the role? Is there a role, I guess, when you talk about you're going to be a validator on these different networks? Is there a relationship that you build or that you have with the developers of the protocols? And if so, what matters there? What matters for them in you as a validator? What matters for you in them as a protocol? Like, how much are you interacting? Because I know you can technically, anybody, I could be a validator on Ethereum today if I want to, if I have enough ETH to put towards it. You don't necessarily have to interact with them, but I assume you are. Why, and like what's important there as you're trying to think about those relationships?
It's a fantastic question, Sean. And what I'll say is we think one of the reasons why we've been successful is because we think about the life cycle of a network from conception of the idea to launching it and being successful. And there's a number of things we can do to provide value along the way. So I mentioned we started tried to start as Figment Capital, and that failed as a VC fund. But that's actually usually one of the first things that new protocols need is some sort of source funding. This looks like a standard pre-seed deal. Usually there's an operating company, you can invest in equity of it, and we do this frequently. And so providing capital, just like any other startup, that's usually one of the first things that's needed. As they get from concept into some sort of implementation, the next thing you need to do is to have a decentralized network. You need to recruit a number of different players like Figment, one of our company, but you need a number of other people. You need a decentralized network. You need 50, 100 different type of people. So recruiting that infrastructure set, that role, I said earlier, there's people, this is about incentive design, right? You can create a role of validators. You need to bring those people in. You need to make them interested in what you're doing. So that's the second thing that we do. Now, the thing to know is there is the equivalent of a development environment. It's called a test net. You want to bring people into your test net process to help you find bugs faster, help you sort of iterate more quickly. And so that's the second way that Figment adds value is we participate in these networks at the sort of test net phase. As your test net starts working, there's a lot of people who are confused about, at that point, it's a team with some code, but no one's ever heard of what the project's doing. One way we add value is we assign people who are called protocol analysts or protocol experts within Figment to actually learn about the protocol and then start not quite evangelizing it, but just describing it. We do these series of blog posts, first look at new blockchain, and just helping people understand it. It helps them recruit. Once they launch and go to mainnet, then the way we can start adding value is the next question is like, how can we get users? And so we have another product called Data Hub, which makes it easier for people to build on top of blockchains. We bring developers to them. And so these are a number of things we do along the way to try to add value. And, you can see how early we're trying to engage. Our model is to try to engage with these protocols very early on so we can help them be successful because, our business only works if there's real usage of blockchains long-term. Just launching these things and doing ICOs, like that is a very short-term thing. If you kind of go back to the business model of Visa and MasterCard are great businesses because people use the dang thing all the time. We need people using blockchains all the time. And so that's how we're oriented. Exactly. Yeah. Except for like, we haven't really hit on this, but I'll hit on it very quickly, which is like, why are there tokens at all? And why do you have to pay for transactions? I said email earlier, there is no transaction fee in email. And so what you get is spam.
All that.
Yeah. And so, most of these networks have a token, usually to pay for the transaction fees. And so I mentioned block space. Block space is a finite thing. You need to pay to be included. That's where this all comes from. So I want to make sure that anyone who's sort of confused, like, do you need tokens? Are these tokens sort of foisted on? This is what we're trying to solve for is this sort of spam problem, actually.